Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I am Peter, that is Connor, and we are going to talk about The Sinner Season 1, Episode 2. It's called Part 2. It's a limited series. I don't know why I said Season 1. I think I did that last week as well. But yeah, so we're going to be full spoilers for the episode, and we weren't sure last week if it was something we were going to keep on for the whole run. We thought we'll watch one more. There was enough stuff we liked that we wanted to check out more of it, but we weren't sure. It was kind of, you know, and that kind of, it could be and it couldn't be depending on how it kind of holds up going forward. So I guess the first question to sort of set the tone of this is, Connor, are you interested in watching more of this through to the
I
end?
I don't know. This is, but not for the same reasons as like okay, there's some more stuff I like, but then it did some of the things I was afraid that was going to happen in episode two.
Okay, interesting. I can give you something more of a definitive answer on my end, I think.
Go on.
I mean, it's not I don't know, like, so, either way.
Yeah,
Uh, I'm going to say no.
fair enough.
I don't think it was terrible. I don't think it was like a huge decline, but I do think that a lot of the mystery that I was intrigued by in episode one, I mean, it's still kind of there by the end of episode two, but they really played with it this one where there's a whole scene in the middle where she admits to all this stuff as if she did know the guy that she killed, and I was like, and part of me went, this is just kind of ruining everything if she just happened to know him anyway, and then I was like, okay, but what if she's lying? And then by the end of the episode, sure enough, they basically debunk almost every part of the story. The only thing that might still be true is that she was in a bar on July 4th weekend, like 5 years ago. She might have been in a bar, but the guy who she said was there wasn't.
Yeah,
Everything else she said didn't happen. She was never treated for a pregnancy or a miscarriage after being hit by a car. Like, all the other things she said, debunked. Um, but it did kind of drain my interest in like what's happening to her. I'm like, are we really going to do this red herring stuff? Like, because this entire episode was kind of just there to reinforce that we don't really know, or she doesn't really know.
yeah. No, that's kind of what my problem was with this in episode
Yeah,
two. Like you say, it drained the mystery. There was some stuff I did like once I got to the end, I was like, okay, there's still a mystery, but it's kind of a different mystery to what we set up before almost.
yeah, because Bill Pullman's character, he gets the music. He's investigating stuff. He talks to the girlfriend and all that stuff, and he finds out the music that they were listening to, and he plays that for her, and he sort of goads her into like a reaction, and she ends up reacting the exact same way she did in the beach where she goes from. But obviously this time she doesn't have a weapon, so she just like hits him repeatedly, and she gets pulled off before anything too bad happens. But when he goes to check his like bruises later on, he notices that all the bruises are in the same place where the guy was stabbed. It was almost like a conditioned thing. Like, it's almost like she was trained on a certain like musical cue to do this exact act.
Yeah, it's like it's a signal.
Yeah, which, I mean, it's not a bad mystery, but I don't know. The idea of someone conditioning her to do this is almost,
Right, that's what I mean. It's a different mystery now. It's
yeah,
not why did she do this because we know why she did that. Then she reacted to the trigger. It's now why does this trigger do that? Like who set that up?
at least that's what we're speculating at this point. I mean, they could swerve it in some way,
They
but
could.
that's what it feels like right now. And like I say, it wasn't bad, but I was finding myself feeling a bit fatigued throughout the episode. Like every time it like faded to black for the like the cliffhangers, I was just kind of like, yeah, okay.
I feel like the first episode might have had a guest director as well.
Oh, a bit more
Um,
stylish. The first one,
yeah,
yeah,
like like we were talking about, the actual stabbing incident. There's nothing in this that has anything like that.
yeah, that was very well handled in the last episode. Whereas here, it was just kind of by the numbers, TV directing for the
Yeah,
most part. It wasn't really grabbing me. I think a big problem with this right now as well is that like a big part of what I love about TV is characters because you get to spend a lot more time with them and you can get to develop them a lot more than what a movie can do. And I feel like right now they've given me really nothing to actually latch on to her as a character. Like Cora as a character, because she's so withheld and she's not talking to anyone and she's holding everything in, it's really hard to get a read on her as a viewer and like actually
yeah.
want to root for her. Because when she doesn't even want to root for herself, it's really hard to actually.
I feel like we're supposed to be sympathetic to her because it keeps giving us these flashes. It's like, okay, obviously something's happened to her in the past, so we're
Yeah.
supposed to be sympathetic, but it's hard to be sympathetic when I don't know what's happened, so I don't know why I'm supposed to care. Not exactly,
Mm.
anyway. And like you say, she doesn't care, so
Yeah, she wants to plead guilty. That's how the episode starts, and we literally pick off from the exact moment
Yeah, I
in
feel
that
like
last episode.
we're supposed to be with the detective going, no, 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 I'm not having that. I want to find out. I'm not letting her just get away with it. But I'm kind of like,
But what that's the thing.
what was she?
I think we are to a point. It's not it's nothing to do with her. It's not
Right,
we don't care about what she's going through. We are just fascinated by why, rather than caring about her. Like,
right. We want to know like, oh, why is just as a from a mystery point of view, whereas he wants to know why did you do this? Why did this person do this?
because I'm not really concerned about her like going to prison. In fact, that was probably my biggest kind of like groaning moment in this is when it started to bring in the other prisoners are like mistreating her and stuff. I'm like, and again, this is just a taste thing, but I'm kind of like, I I've seen enough good versions of the prisoner story that I don't really need. Like, the night of went down that path last year.
Yeah,
Was it last year? Yeah, it was last year.
it
Now.
was last year.
Yeah, full year. Yeah. And that wasn't necessarily where I wanted that to go, and it was actually handled pretty well once it did. But it was kind of like I was like, okay, right, this didn't start as good as that for a start, right? And now
Few
we're
things do, to be fair.
few things, even things that got better later than Night of ever did, really start as good as what Night of started as. And it's just like the other prisoners steal her bed, and I'm like, oh, are we going to do this? Are we going to do like the other prisoners like tease her, and she's going to have to like either like fight her way in there, or like she's going to keep playing zombie, and that's going to like go down whatever path it's going to go down. And I'm like, I don't really care about that prison side of it at all.
Yeah, I don't either. I'd kind of already forgotten that stuff was happening because I just don't want to remember that.
Honestly, Bill Pullman's character is the only kind of plot that I was actively enjoying, because even the husband character, Cora's husband, who like sort of whines at the policewoman until she finally gives a bit of details as to what she said about this story about the guy and the pregnancy, which we all know is bullshit, but he doesn't know that, and we actually see him at the end of the episode. He's going off to like talk to what seems like a criminal. Like, I don't know if he has criminal connections, but it seemed like the way they were talking, it was like, oh, this guy, he does stuff up, upstate kind of thing. It
Yeah.
had that kind of vibe to it, and I'm like, so we already know that this line of thinking is bullshit, at least to a point. Now, the name she used, the guy she killed, she said he was using an alias, which was JD, and the husband happens to know someone called JD, so and maybe there is some sort of connection, and maybe JD is some way related to whatever's going on, so it could
Yeah.
lead to something, but the husband quite equally, I'm not really caring about quite yet.
Again, it's she doesn't care about him at the moment either. Like,
This is the thing, yeah. You've got, because so much of the first episode before she commits the act is very much from her point of view. So the husband, even though he doesn't do anything wrong, you're kind of in her head. So you're watching like the mundane nature of this marriage, and he feels boring because it's supposed to feel boring to her, and that's kind of where she is in life. She's almost having this midlife crisis kind of feeling going
yeah.
on, and because it's represented through her eyes, that's how we see him. We see him as this sort of wedding shackles around her, and like this is normality to a
And
uncomfortable extreme.
even in this episode, it's kind of like, well, and just since the incident in general, she's not too bothered about him. She's like, yeah, you go off and do whatever you need to.
Yeah, and because of that, we never get a chance to connect with him in the first place. So now that this has all went down, and he's just kind of looking upset and asking
Yeah.
questions, I don't really feel a connection to him. Whereas Bill Pullman's character, the detective, he does have his own thing going on. He has his whole thing where he's separated from his wife. He's got this weird kinky thing. Because I actually really liked in the therapy session with his wife, where she's like, "Oh, we've not had sex in so long. I don't even know what you want anymore." And I just thought, like, I know what he wants. He's into some weird shit.
Yeah.
Just ask her. She may say yes. Just go for it, Bill. um, but like, so he's like getting back together, and you kind of maybe get the fact that he's got his self focused on a case is maybe what's letting him sort of at least go through the emotions that he is okay again to get back with his wife. I can see it all crumbling at some point. Like, it feels too early for him to be fixing this part of his
Yeah.
life. But he's making an effort, and I at least like his point of view. I at least find more interesting than the other characters. But like I say, the mystery wasn't working for me as well in this one. Even though it ultimately did turn into still be a mystery by the end, it's like, well, why did she lie? And was she just lying because as they said to her when he was trying to get the confession, he's like, well, your family's out there hurting, they're being hounded by press, they're going to go through all this, you're never going to give them a reason why. It's almost like she just thinks of one, just so they'll have
Uh,
an answer.
Honestly, I assumed it was, in the trial, they were like, "Nah, you can't even give us a reason, so I'm going to question whether you're even fit to stand trial." So she was like, I'll just give him a reason, they'll throw me away."
Well, she says it right after he says that our wife and child are going through this. So I think it's more about giving them just some explanation so they can live with it and get over it.
Yeah,
Just because of where it takes place, I feel like that was more the
no, that's fair enough.
the motivation for it. But I mean, uh, but yeah, it's hard to latch on to them right now. Like I think that's my biggest problem. I think the mystery's got some stuff going for it. We still had the flashbacks again. We see just how crazy religious her mother is, where she thinks because she accepted the chocolate from her auntie that's why her sister's still sick,
Yeah.
and she like berates her over it. But then Cora gets all rebellious and goes out and digs up the chocolate that she made her bury and eats it anyway.
Sister
Sinning.
dies next episode.
She's sinning. I'm still. I mean, I'm not going to stick around to find out, but I'm still upholding that that's actually the other. She's the sick girl, and she swapped names after the one we think's Cora dies. I'm calling it.
I hope if someone who's watching this sticks with it, I
Tells
hope they'll
us.
come back in and check in. Let us know if that happens.
I want to know if I'm right.
Yeah.
I want to know. So, and they're still playing with the whole: is the dad going to be a molester? Because at the end, he's pissed that the sick daughter's in his bed, so he has to go and take her bed, which is it's like a twin bedroom with Cora, and the scene ends with him starting to take off his clothes. And again, this is fine in context. We know he's just going in there to sleep in the other bed,
Yeah.
right? But because it's like filming through the window and he's like taking off his clothes as the little girl's in the other bed, it's all this suggestive like something creepy's going on.
Right, and this is the thing. It's like if that does turn out to be, what it is, it was him.
It feels too obvious.
It feels boring because they've so heavily hinted at it.
It's too easy. Like
There's no subtlety to it, is there?
no, which is why it has to be something else.
Right. You'd hope. I think I've got enough idea from the show that they're smarter than that, surely.
I'd hope so. Like they subverted a couple of things in the first episode, but
Right.
it's a shame because I think there's potential here, but ultimately I'm just kind of feeling underwhelmed and like I want to care more about what's going on, but the characters just aren't engaging enough that I'm really rooting for them or feeling one or the other towards them.
Right. Yeah, I actually I feel in a similar place. Yeah, I wasn't as definitive, but in the sense that I don't really care, but there's a new mystery, and do I want answers to that? I don't. I was like, I don't know.
We also got flashbacks from the husband's perspective to when they first met each other. She's still in the flashback, but you can it's his flashback. Like he's the one remembering like first meeting her. And it's like him thinking back and meeting her and like, oh, she seemed so nice, but now she's like a random killer. What's going on? And those scenes kind of like really showed me how little I cared about the characters because I was like, I don't really care how you met. Like I don't find
it doesn't seem important, does it?
this first meeting doesn't feel sweet. It didn't really do anything for me. It was just kind of like, and nothing really happened in it either. They just kind of met and they talked a little bit and they talked about where the other one lived and like I felt like it was okay.
Right, like you say, it was just there. Like it was almost exposition. It's like, this is probably going to come up at some point, so you'll want to know
Probably.
this.
Yeah, I suppose the biggest little twist towards the end is that her parents are still alive.
Yeah.
She lied about that. She was lying from the get-go. Everything she said to them basically since she's been arrested.
Still no mention of the sister.
Still no mention of the sister. No, they're not twins. I was going to say, is there some weird swappery going on here?
She
but
was it's definitely a younger sister.
yeah, definitely younger sister. They can still look alike though. It's not out of the
Well,
realm.
they could.
Yeah, not out of the realm of possibility.
No, it's not.
But no. So we're not continuing with it. That's kind of where we are.
Probably because your theories are going to be far wackier than anything that actually happens, and you'd just be disappointed.
Yeah, I'm going to leave it to my imagination right now because it's way more interesting. It's not a bad show though. Like I don't grudge it. I wasn't painful to get through by any means. Like, there's definitely some things in there worth seeing, but we're just ultimately not feeling it. And we're going to have more stuff starting up soon. I'm seeing the free slot for something else as being more valuable than watching more of this. Is kind of how I'm feeling. So So there we are. That's episode 2 of the Sinner. That wasn't as in depth as we normally go with we usually go a lot more in depth in a lot of the scenes, but obviously we're dropping. This is more of a why are we not continuing with this rather than a sort of in depth review of the episode itself. But no. But hopefully this was still informative. If you were sort of on the fence about continuing it, maybe you agree with us, maybe you go, no, I don't share those problems, so I will keep watching it, or they don't mean as much to me, or whatever. But if you do keep watching it, come back and comment. I want to know how this ends. Just let me
Just
know.
not enough to you don't care enough to actually watch it.
Honestly, reading the Wikipedia page when it's done, good enough for me at this point. I guess that's how where I am.
It's based on a book, right? We could probably just go and find that out
That's
now.
true. Yeah, I could just get the books, read the last chapter.
Why not?
I'm not reading the whole thing. Are you mad? So let us know what you thought. Maybe let us know what you think of the show. Are you sticking with it? Let us know in the comments. But otherwise, guys, get us on Twitter at mailed_fuzz for channel updates. You can get us on patreon.com at mailfuzztv if you want to support us, keep us doing what we do. Not this show in particular, but other things we do in the channel. And that is us. So thank you once again for watching. Keep watching TV. Have you got any vanilla?